Hey guys, this is Garrett with Chuckin TV, back for another out-of-the-box accuracy test here today on a mighty cold day here in central Missouri. It's about 19 degrees out, blowing 10 or 15 miles an hour out of the west. It's awfully chilly, but we're going to be out here today and putting a little test for you. This is the Ruger American Hunter. And one thing you'll notice about it right off the bat is that it's got a completely different stock on it than any of the other Ruger Americans that are available. This is actually a Magpul stock, and it's really unique looking, and it's specific to this gun. They provide their own Magpul magazine with it as well, and this one happens to be chambered in .308. For the test today, we've got several different boxed ammunition here, factory loaded stuff that we're going to run through this gun, stuff that you could find in pretty much any store right off the shelf. Got a couple different things going on. And one thing I do want to mention here is this gun came from Trigger Firearms and Reloading right here in central Missouri, Jefferson City. Johnny, the owner there, he's going to let me borrow this gun to do a little test with it. Basically, he's got the gun already sighted in. He's only shot it 10 times, and that's with the .308 Winchester here, American Whitetail, and it's a 165 grain interlock. He's got the gun pretty much on paper with it, so we're going to start off with it, see what kind of group we can get with the gun and with that load, and then we're going to go down to the 150 grain interlock from Hornady, then to the 168 grain boat tail hollow point match from Hornady as well, and finally we got a little bit of a different brand out of the Hornady stuff. We're not very partial, to any one, but we've got a lot of Hornady to test, so we figured we'd mix it up a little bit with some Federal. It's a 150 grain non-typical whitetail soft point, so still in the whitetail hunting realm kind of hunting bullet. It's not a match grade bullet by any means, and we wanted to try to test it out as a normal kind of ammunition. It's nothing too crazy expensive and nothing too specific to match grade accuracy. We want to really just test a normal hunting load out of this gun and kind of see what it can do. On top of the gun right now is a Athlon Argos, 6 to 24 by 50. It does have an illuminated reticle, super nice looking scope. The glass seems super clear on it. It's got the flip up scope caps from the right out of the box. It's got really nice fit and finish to it, real nice solid clicks, throughout the actual range of it. Any of these will be, super nice and handy to use. So we're basically going to go ahead and just, like I said, put this thing to the test and see what it can do. We haven't reviewed one of these guns yet, and I've always been kind of eyeing them. And the reputation that Magpul has with high quality stuff, it should be a pretty good shooter here. So without further ado, I'm gonna go on there and hang up a target and get to work. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shoot from left to right and go down the line. One more thing I do want to mention here is it does have a Harris bipod on it. I'm shooting the gun exactly how John has it set up. I don't want to change anything on it for him, and I just want to kind of see how this would work out in the field and kind of see if there's any flex here to the stock at all, which I can push my hand on it and see there's definitely some flex. So like I said, I just want to kind of really put this thing to the test, how a normal guy would take this thing out and shoot it in the field. I don't want to put it on a nice bench rest or anything like that. I just want to kind of see how it works out of the field. So we're not trying to get the best accuracy out of it and modifying it. That's not the point of this test. We're basically just taking a stock gun and shooting it and seeing how it does. So hang with us. I'm going to try not to freeze to death, and we'll see how she goes. All right, guys, as you can see here, got pretty darn good results out of all the Hornady stuff. Our worst group was with the Federal, but albeit I'm not the steadiest with this gun because it's brand new to me and it's windy, super cold out. It's not a terrible group. It might look worse, a lot worse than the other ones, but honestly, it's really not that bad. I had 2 touching right here and then 1, 2 on either side of it. That was my first shot with that one. And then, you know, it kind of spread out a little bit around it, but honestly, it's not a terrible group. This is the 168 grain boat tail match. I've got 3 touching right there, a nice little clover leaf pattern, super tight, all 3 touching, and then just 2 off to the side, so that's really good. This is the 150 grain American Whitetail by Hornady. I've got 3 almost touching, 2 are touching, 1 just a little bit off, and then 2 kind of spread way out. I definitely pulled this one. I felt like that was my fault completely on that guy, so I would negate him, and you got a pretty darn good group there. This is the 165 American Whitetail, really good group too. This is what John has his gun sighted in with, and there's 2 in the same hole and then 2 more touching. So honestly, out of all of them, I think this is honestly the best group that we've gotten so far, and this was the first group of the day. So first time ever shooting that gun at all. That's pretty impressive right there, to be honest with you. I'd probably stick with this, you know, for this gun and also to hunt with, and I wouldn't be afraid to hand load the same bullet in this guy. So really impressive with that. Definitely really impressed with the gun overall as far as the fit and finish of it. The stock was super nice on it. Trigger pull was very heavy. Didn't creep at all, but it's very, very heavy. It definitely needs to be adjusted down or, you know, swapped out to another trigger. I'm kind of a snob when it comes to that sort of thing because I've got Timneys and, you know, other types of triggers, Trigger Techs, and my other guns. But honestly, that's the only thing I can really fault the gun for is the trigger itself. It's very stiff, very heavy, but it was smooth and no creep. So it's probably the only thing I'd honestly modify with the gun. It didn't recoil nearly at all. It felt like a 22-250 almost with that muzzle brake on there. Heavy barrel, everything. The stock was super nice. Fit and finish was great. I definitely want to give a shout out to John at Trigger Firearms and Reloading in Jeff City. Thanks for letting me borrow the gun, go out here and test it for you. Definitely wanted to, you know, put you guys together a nice little video here and show the different accuracy from different factory loaded ammunition. So keep a lookout for this gun in the future. We might be testing again with some hand loads. So thanks for watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, and don't forget to sign up for our Patreon for exclusive content. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks.